Our David Begnaud is in Oakland at the site of the warehouse fire, the deadliest in Oakland's history. David?
I want to give you a scene setter. This building is not in the middle of some kind of industrial district. We're in a neighborhood here in Oakland. In fact, there's a freeway about 20 yards from where I'm standing. That's the building behind me, a little bit of green and white. The windows are busted out. The streets in the neighborhood are closed, but get a look at this. There's actually a fire station. Station number 13 for the Oakland Fire Department is a block away from the building. So these guys actually responded to the fire, but that gives you a sense of how intense this fire was, if those guys were so close and still you had upwards of at least 30 people who died. People are starting to put flowers, one on the ground here, people leaving mementos all over the place. One thing that we had heard was that there were complaints about blighted property in this area. In fact, the building, people had said there was trash around the building and they had complained to the city. There are a lot of properties like this one where you would say, you know, let's file a blighted complaint. This is kind of spread throughout the area, but I also have to tell you, this is an area where people say they can actually afford to live, because a lot of the Bay Area is so expensive that some people are actually living in shipping containers. So when you talk to people about blighted property, they say, hey, listen, blighted or not, I just need a place to live, and this is actually an area where I can find a room or the back part of someone's property where I can afford to live. So again, we're in a neighborhood, not an industrial district. The media is camped out here. You have international, local, and national media that's all here. This is international and Derby here in the city of Oakland. There have been news conferences going on throughout the day. The streets have been closed, and we actually just talked to a man who was inside of the building when the fire started. He described to us being on the second floor inside the restroom, and somebody yelled fire. And he tried to go to his car to get a flashlight because he thought he could help. And he said when he came in, the smoke had just risen to the second floor. And he said that's where a majority of the people were. They were dancing on the second floor. And he surmises that they suffocated almost instantly, because he describes the fire at the bottom, but the smoke rising to the top. And this man, who actually had just arrived in Oakland yesterday, he's a disc jockey, a musician, had heard about this party and came here like so many other people, had just come here and again was in the restroom. And he also mentioned at one moment in going to the restroom, he said the restroom was between the first and second floor, so you walked onto the steps into the restroom. He said when he stepped onto the set of stairs, he thought to himself, man, this is kind of fragile and rickety, not imagining what would happen next.